What's going on, people? This is the Corner Store Podcast. Subscribe, like, comment, and share the content. You can follow us on YouTube, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and iTunes. Appreciate y'all support. Back for another video. We got Rob and Chief Boarded. How you doing, brother? You can unmute yourself.
How you doing? What's going on?
I'm good, man. There's this story that's kind of took off in regarding to Wilt Chamberlain. There's this MeToo allegation that's pretty much been sprouted out of nowhere, in which this actress named Cassandra Peterson, better known as Elvira, she kind of came out with a book talking about how Wilt Chamberlain back in the 70s, he threw this party in this Bel Air mansion, and I guess he was showing her his oversized closet where he hangs up his jerseys, and then he forced her to have oral sex on him while his hand was around her neck. So obviously, we don't know what happened. All we know is her story. He's not here to defend himself. He's been gone for the past, 20 some years. He died in October of 99 from heart failure. So there's no way for him to kind of like come out here and kind of defend himself to clear his name. So all we could just go by is all of her accounts. So what you think about what I just told you so far, as him being accused of this heinous act, and all we could go on is basically her version.
Well, I remember a long time ago where he actually claimed to have had sex with 10,000 women. So if he's claiming he had sex with 10,000 women, which I don't think was possible, but it might have been 1,000 women, might have been 2,000 women, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If he's admitted to that type of behavior, who knows what he did in that closet? Who knows?
Well, that number came out in his memoir back in 91. It was actually 20,000. So, okay, so 20,000 women. So he was probably knocking them out 2-3 times a day.
Man,
where's all the energy coming from?
Shit, back then all they had was Gatorade.
Yeah.
They ain't even had no Red Bull, man.
Now, as far as the way that the movement came out, right? It came out in 2017. It was actually birthed back in 2006 by Tarana Burke. So fast forward to 2017, which the movement was hijacked from white liberals. They kind of took over the movement. Basically, the goal was to combat sexual assault in the workplace because of the power dynamic between bosses and employees. Now, that was the original, version of why the Me Too movement is here. So now it just seems like, anybody can come out with like an allegation. So we got the kangaroo courts pretty much kind of like dictating that the man is automatically guilty, and we have to believe all women.
All right, so let me make a comment about that. Women in this country have been asking for, Me Too rights ever since the beginning of this country. And, I still don't get it. Like, they have better parental rights than we do as men. I'm sick and tired of hearing about how they don't make the same kind of money that men do. They all should join the military then. We all got the same pay in the military. And there's plenty of jobs where men and women get the same pay. It's only in the private sector that they're complaining about. So you have to think about it this way. When you own your own corporation one day, do you want some college educated women to come and just take over your company and say they deserve the same amount of pay that you did for working, and building your company for 20 years? They want to come in and get CEO pay that you got after working there for 2 or 3 years? I just don't understand this whole all all these rights they're asking for. They
Mm-hmm.
have the right to take your children from you. They have the right to lie on you, to say that look, we can go down the line about what women have lied about men.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I do know that. Wow, you said 20,000.
Yeah, 20,000.
I mean, he might have been exaggerating, but man, like I said, I don't know. Yeah, he must have been on some type of drugs. Like I said, they ain't even had Red Bull back then. Uh, but then again, our bodies weren't as corrupted as they are now. Like we didn't consume as many chemicals back then either. I don't know, but an accusation like that's probably just for attention, might be. But you know, uh, some people take a long time to get over something and be able to accept it and then be able to talk about it.
Yeah, that's another factor in the equation. So we also had recently, within like the last year, that someone came out with an allegation against Rick James. And Rick James, he's been gone for at least 15 years.
Yeah, but he's guilty though. Whatever they said he did, he probably did it.
I mean, even if that's the case, though,
I'm joking. I'm joking. Look.
but
I don't know what that man did. I don't know what R. Kelly did. I
mhm.
don't know none of these pedophiles, sexual predators, whatever you want to call them. I don't know. I don't know everything they've done in their bedrooms or in other people's bedrooms, but we do know that you got a lot of people out here who are taking advantage of people and raping people. You also have a lot of people going around lying on people.
Now,
That's that's the culture now.
now having allegations against deceased people, I got to push back on that because they're not here to defend themselves. But at least with R. Kelly, he had his day in court. So now he's going to be punished for his crimes. And then, over the years, we always knew about R. Kelly. It really wasn't men that kind of kept R. Kelly afloat. It was really the women. The women kept money in his coffers because they was selling out his concerts. They was defending him. As a matter of fact, the last time he got bailed out of jail, it was a woman who owned like a daycare. She bailed him out of jail.
Yeah, but
So
then, but
so
then
men
but she,
wasn't coming for R. Kelly like that. It was the women doing that.
yeah, but she also lost her daycare because she didn't get her money back.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
She made her choice.
Hmm.
But
So
but um, all right, so let's get back on Will. You know, Wilt Chamberlain back then was like Michael Jordan. Truth be told, he probably was the most well known basketball player at the time. He was one of the tallest. You know,
are
all
we
kind
talking
of
about the 70s?
yeah,
I would okay, so like yeah, him. He was like one of the most
yeah,
dominant players back in the day.
yeah. Dr. J, Moses
Dr. J was in
Malone,
the NBA. And then you had Bill Russell because he was winning championships with the Celtics.
right? Exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, but look, but these guys were probably the first very well known. You can say black.
Hmm.
Those who want to be politically correct, African American, for all of us in the hood, the nigga, whatever. But everybody knew who they were, and
Yeah.
they were celebrities. And he was one of the biggest celebrities. And according to him and other women, he slept with a lot of women.
Yeah. I mean, Ali was out there. You had Jim Brown from the Browns. OJ Simpson, he kind of came out in the late 70s.
Right.
Oh, but yeah, it really wasn't like the same scale as we have today, which social media kind of increases the profiles of all these players because you got IG, they got their own YouTube pages, they got the 24-hour coverage of the media with the
Right.
whole sports talk circuit. So
Right. All kind of
players
stuff.
today, they got so many avenues and to kind of like getting their message out to like keep their profiles relevant for a long time.
I mean, look, man. That's the way of the world.
Hmm.
I mean, everyone's talking about this now. Ain't nobody talking about King Leopold and how treacherous he was as a king. That probably killed more people. No, killed more people on the continent of Africa than any other monarch in history. Right? They don't talk about that. They want to talk about this guy. You know why? I'll tell you
Yeah.
why. Because he was a brother.
Now, refresh my memory. Who was King Leopold?
King Leopold was the king of oh shoot, he was the Dutch king that owned that colonized the Congo
Mm-hmm.
and killed all those Congolese people. We're talking millions of people that were killed or put into slavery. Um, he literally was the slave king of Africa.
Mm-hmm.
No other European killed more Africans than he did. Even during the slave trade, he killed more people on the continent of Africa than they did during the slave trade.
That's interesting. I never.
Talk about him though. Instead, they want to talk about Hitler,
Mm,
or they want to talk about the communists. They talk about all these different people,
all right.
but all I'm saying is, when you're popular, you're a target.
Yeah,
And
but yes, like yes, he was a target back in the day, but there was nothing that came out 40 years ago in regards to Ali, Jim Brown, Bill Russell. It wasn't
yeah,
none of that.
well, they weren't talking about Bill Cosby back then neither. But
Exactly. Yeah.
he went to jail after all those years, and then after my memory and all that great. It's a little late too, but the little the little white sister that was portraying to be the black NAACP president, she even claimed to have been raped by him, by Bill Cosby.
You talking about Rachel Dolezal? Oh no.
Yeah,
She got a Cosby allegation?
yeah. Look
Are
it
you
up.
sure?
I'm positive.
I never
She,
heard of this.
he said that she said that she met him, but he was nowhere near where supposedly they had met at, and that she was sexually assaulted by him.
Oh wow. I didn't hear about this. So
Look, you know what? I could go back and say my commanding officer, one of my old whatever, did something to me.
anybody
Yeah,
can say whatever, but the
yeah.
fact that automatically in today's climate, women are always going to be believed, in the eyes of the mainstream media. But that's why you always got to have your day in court. If that heinous act was done on you, it's incumbent upon you to go to the police so that way they can get some type of rape kit done on you. So that way they can kind of be filed into evidence. So that way, once that person have their day in court, then that rape kit is going to come into play, in which is going to be helpful in getting that perpetrator, put to justice. But everything wants to, everyone wants to put these allegations out on social media, so that way the court of public opinion can can try out this case in public. But that's not how this works. It's supposed to go into the court of law. That's why we got R. Kelly.
Well, but all right. So for Wilt, all right. So Wilt Chamberlain.
Mm-hmm.
Was she going to get something? Does he still have some money in his estate or something,
You know
or
what?
or does she
Uh,
just want to part of public record? Because you know what I mean. I don't know, but the same thing with Michael Jackson.
mm-hmm.
All that stuff that went down with him, and he was exonerated and went to court and everything else. They still came back after he died and said, "Oh well, no, we're coming after his estate." You know what? All
His
those women.
estate's gonna come out with any money though, but yeah, I don't think she can get any money from his estate per se. I mean, obviously, I'm not a lawyer, but I seriously doubt it. But she came out with a book recently, so she's
Uh,
trying to come out with all this buzz, throw an allegation out there. Is it possible for him to like come back and have a statement to defend his name because he's not here anymore? But the fact that anybody could just throw stuff out there, and for her, she's trying to get some type of monetary gain because she's trying to sell these books. So
so it sounds like she wants Me Too. Just like you were saying, she
Yeah,
wants
yeah,
something.
but
She
yeah,
wants
but
something from from whatever happened with them. She wants me too. She wants it. Or as we say in Chicago, in certain neighborhoods when I grew up, give me me, give
yeah,
me.
but even in her case though, this won't qualify as a Me Too movement because Me Too deals with the power dynamic between employer and employee. To me, if anything bad happened, it's just a bad day gone wrong. So this don't really fall under the Me Too paradigm because she was never a employee under him. I mean, it was just two adults. Something may have happened, something may not have happened, but the fact that 40 years later she could just come out with this and say, "Hey, this is a Me Too allegation." I mean, to me, she is totally false. I mean, it's just a bad day gone wrong, if that.
Right, and something should have been said, like you said, when it happened.
Right, right.
Uh, you
Yeah,
know,
but
uh,
she claims that even back then, like who was going to believe an out of work actress who used to be a showgirl and he's this 7 foot 300-pound man who was a superstar. I mean, I totally understand her standpoint from that. But if she wants to use this as a Me Too movement or allegation, she had 6 years to like come out with this story when like Me Too was like first becoming mainstream. But she chose 2021 instead of 2016.
okay, so I'll say this, just something that just popped in my head here. So what about all those men that spent 40 years in prison and then they were exonerated by DNA? They
Hmm.
did their time for a lie. You know, they did their time for a lie.
Yeah, a lot of those cases are happening. Yeah, where
Exonerating people from DNA evidence now.
yeah, yeah.
It's like, okay, so what about all the lies that these women told about men?
In most cases, the women are not punished
No,
and go scot free.
no, they don't get punished. Punished for what? I
Well,
mean, they're now saying, hey, I raped this dude, or you know what, he can't say no. Men can't say no.
hmm.
So I mean, it could have been just the opposite. She could have taken advantage of him, and he might have submitted to her.
All right.
Everybody takes it just because he's a big guy, a tall guy. That doesn't mean that he's not a submissive man. And men are submissive during sex a lot of times. It's not always we're on top. Sometimes we want you on top. I'm
Thanks for being
just
so
saying.
graphic.
Look, I'm saying though.
Hmm.
There are a lot of aggressive women out here, and
I
they're getting
mean,
even more, and they're even getting more aggressive by the.
men are not really in many submissive situations when it comes to sex, though. I mean, like to me,
If you
the
put yourself in that situation,
the only way that a man could be submissive in that situation is if his face is in between her legs. That's a submissive position from the man's standpoint.
okay.
Maybe.
I mean,
You know what? I'm sure there's others, but I'm not gonna name them. But as
look,
far as like the most well known that like most guys will likely do, because remember, all guys ain't gonna let some woman probe them at all. I mean, that's very submissive, but a lot of dudes ain't into that. I would assume.
and,
But
and,
but the
and
most common thing
some
that
women are handcuffing their man.
you said what?
Some women are into handcuffing their men
Oh yeah, yeah, okay, yeah,
and doing
yeah.
that too.
Yeah, but as far as the most common way that a man could be submissive is if his face is in between her legs. I mean, that's the most common one I could think of. So other than that, y'all can have the other stuff.
I mean, look, no comment on that one. I mean, I don't know. I mean, as far as submissiveness,
Uh-huh.
um, it's all relative.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
mean, someone can be submitting to you, and I mean, they teach you this. As soon as someone says no, you're supposed to stop,
Mm-hmm.
but everybody doesn't stop. So you go from submissiveness to assault, to rape.
Oh yeah, that's what that picture from the Dodgers is going through. Because I mean, he likes to have really rough, kinky sex, and he ended up putting a girl in a hospital, and now he's literally banned for the season. So he may be banned for life from baseball. I think
Who's
his name
that?
is Trevor Bauer.
Uh,
Yeah, he's from the Dodgers. So yeah, but they're just another just random thought I had about it. But yeah, man. As far as these allegations coming out, though, man, and actually, you know what? Like, not many Me Too allegations come out that's like current like that. Like most of the allegations that comes out is from stuff that happened 20, 30, 40 years ago, in which I find troubling because like today, we do understand that the social climate, like the politics of sex has changed compared to what it used to be prior to 2015, 2016.
hey, look,
So
man, it's gone from politics to a war.
oh yeah, oh yeah, it's yeah, definitely a gender war. I mean, yeah.
I mean, we live in a sexual war when it comes to sex, when it comes to gender identity, as far as the LGBT thing, as far as what's considered sodomy now. You
Hmm.
know, I mean, now they're changing laws in California where where you can knowingly have HIV and give it to someone that's no longer a felony. It's just a
Hmm.
misdemeanor now. Or someone can sodomize your son at 16 if he gives permission. That's okay now. I mean, they're getting really
This is in
liberal.
California.
Yeah, California is always a test tube baby when it comes to all the laws. I call it the state of 2 million laws. They got a law for every damn thing in California.
Oh, okay.
It's ridiculous. I mean, I guess all they do is sit around and smoke weed and think, oh, it should be a law about this. Like, what?
Hmm.
Yet they got the worst education system in the country. I heard. Um, California. If the rest of the United States would like California, man, look, the Chinese just walk in and take this whole goddamn country.
Mm,
They just walk in or fly in. Hell, they wouldn't even walk in. They just fly in and take it over.
right.
They doing that now anyway.
Now, in regards to like the whole sexual dynamics are changed between the opposite sex, right?
Yeah.
So, but most of these cases that's coming out is from back in the day. Now, back in the day, the women have fought for these sexual liberation, movements. So, if they fought
Wait, I'm gonna say I don't understand. What do you mean?
as far as second wave feminism, as far as women wanting parity in the workplace, they want parity in education, and they wanted my body, my choice. They wanted um, basically free reign to do anything that they wanted sexually and not have those societal constraints in which, back in the day, women were pressured to be married very early. So now that they don't want any type of any tutelage under a man per se, they wanted to kind of do their own thing. So fast forward to 30, 40 years later, we see the result to what they did back in the 70s. It's harder for women to get married because, for one, sex is too easy right now. Why should a man pay for the cow when he getting the milk for free?
Um,
And plus,
you,
you got these women think that they can, be strong and independent. I mean, most black women, I mean, that's like their anthem, strong and independent. I mean, I really hear no other races speak like that.
but you all right. So one reason it's like that is it's still because of the remnants of slavery. I mean, look, I'm gonna say this till the day I die. You know, if every black person in this country think they're gonna be free in America one day, then leave because it ain't gonna happen. We live in a capitalistic society, and we were brought here as slaves, and they still look at us like slaves, like animals, and they still
Mhm.
treat us like animals. If you think it's going to stop, it's not going to stop. So
All right.
stop looking for something that's not going to happen. You know, you can keep on saying, you can sing, dance, pray, do what the hell you want to do. It's not going to happen. All right. The only people that's doing it right in this country is the Nation of Islam. They the only ones. They don't
Mm,
depend on anybody for their existence, and they ain't scared of nobody. And I love them for
well,
that. They
I
ain't
mean,
scared of
they're not the
nobody.
only one though.
They ain't scared of nobody. And they don't even carry guns. They ain't scared of nobody. Who else can do that?
They got guns.
Have you ever seen a Islam member with a gun in their hand?
You remember like a few years ago, Beyonce had this Super Bowl halftime act in which she was kind of like channeling um
Black Panther
like the
thing.
Black Panther theme, right?
Yeah.
So Beyonce had some backlash from that. So then Minister Farrakhan was like, "Hey, Beyonce, I mean, for your next event, if you don't trust the police to protect you, the nation will protect you." So I would
Okay.
assume that they got their own registered weaponry. I don't think that they're just gonna be like 1,000 brothers just walking around, Beyonce, in the guise of we are protecting the queen bee. I'm sure that they had some type of guns.
Okay. So you just gave me an assignment tonight too. I appreciate that. I'm gonna have to look up how many times the Nation of Islam has actually discharged a weapon in the past 20 years or whatever else. I'm not saying they don't have guns, but they don't need their guns. They're so confident as men and women that they are afraid of no one, and people are afraid of them.
I'm not. Yeah, I have no doubts that like they're not afraid of anyone. I mean, yes. I mean that's the way that they
But I'm telling
preach.
you, but everyone is afraid of them. Every time they say something, they ain't got nothing but negative things that are said about them. And all they're trying to do is take care of their own people, just like everyone else.
That's
They're
the
just doing
mainstream media. That's the mainstream media. They always wanted to paint some type of picture of what the minister is all about. He always preached about how black people should be self-sufficient. We should practice group economics and have our own. He always preached that. I mean, it's no hate to any other races out there, but yeah, this is number one message. But they
but, but,
claim that
but
he's a divider.
right. But what he does talk about is the people who try to uh, talk bad about them for loving themselves when
Hmm.
they do the same thing.
Right,
You know,
right,
all these races of people, or and I hate using the word race. You know what? All these people from different origins.
right.
Me, that's the perfect look. If you're from Asia, that's your origin. That's where your people came from.
Hmm.
And it's kind of funny. I'll send it to you. I saw this. It was a cartoon drawing, and it says when they should have really put the wall up, and it was showing a whole bunch of Native Americans of this country, and they were sitting there, making wood fences out of trees and stuff, trying to keep all the Europeans out of America. Because if they would have stopped all the Europeans from coming here, this country would have been a lot different.
Mm.
They would have thrived with people, those native tribes that were here. They would have thrived instead of being killed off. And those people would have had a different look on life from the rest of the world.
Hmm.
Because I mean, there was plenty of resources here too. They talk about every look. There's resources on every continent on this planet. I'm sick and tired of people talking about Africa's got all the resources, or all, no, they got resources everywhere.
Hmm.
They got stuff in Asia that you don't have in Africa. They got stuff in South America and North America that they don't have in Africa. That's why they trade. Unfortunately, the thing that they shouldn't have been trading was people. If they would have traded their goods, everybody be good right now. It's when they start trading people. That's when we start having problems. Think about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's so many tribes in Africa, so that's why the slave trade happened in the first place because there was no united front.
Right. There was no respect of the tribes.
Right,
Same,
right.
same with the Native American tribes here. They was fighting each other and also trying to fight off the white man at the same time.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a
I mean,
conflict that
this kind
is
of wars too. Look, The Asians had their tribal wars. White man walked in there and took it over.
Yeah, I mean, conflict is pretty much like the natural order, just like you'll find in the Serengeti. So yeah,
Right.
conflict will always be there. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. So you just hope that you're not going to be like a product of the pillaging of part of the losing team per se. So, but I mean, unfortunately for Black people in 2021, we still at the bottom of the barrel. We still don't know how to practice group economics. We still don't know how to love each other. We still don't know how to raise our kids correctly. We still don't know how to pair bond
I
and,
agree.
and pass on generational wealth. So, I
Right.
mean, before that, we can kind of point fingers at the white man per se. We still need a clean house. We still need a clean house. So,
But,
it's actually kind of funny. Last night, they're giving Eli Manning like this big outrage because he like flipped the bird like this on TV last night. He was basically explaining a story about how when he went into Philly, like the Philly fans were like so notorious, and he said something about some 9-year-old had like gave him the bird and was like talking about his mom. And people were outraged because he did this. Basically, he was just mimicking what a 9-year-old did to him on national TV last night. So I was like, damn, I mean, like, so y'all going to give Eli Manning outrage over that while in Chicago, we got 9, 10, 11-year-olds carjacking people and killing people.
right.
Now, that is some bullshit.
Right.
So, I don't know.
No. Look. And now let's get back on Eli. Didn't they retire his jersey?
I think the Giants did. I think so. He won on 2 Super Bowls.
Okay.
Well, wait, that is a big deal, and not to mention, like Brady has 7 Super Bowls under his belt. Eli Manning beat him twice.
Okay. Look, man. All I'm saying is, come on, man. He's a Manning. He's gonna get his jersey. He's gonna get his jersey retired regardless. True or not?
No, no. I mean, if he didn't have any Super Bowls,
Brothers.
if he didn't have any Super Bowls, if he didn't have them, then chances are they would not have done that.
Okay.
I mean, yes, he had 2 good playoff runs. Outside those playoff runs, he was just a mediocre quarterback. But for those 2 playoffs, he played balls out and won 2 rings. And I mean, I would love for the Bears to like win 1 from Justin Fields,
Yeah.
but Eli did it twice. You got to salute that. Come on, man, you got to put some respect on this man's name. I mean, he won 2 rings before his brother won 2 rings.
Ah, that I didn't know.
Yeah, he
But I
won
don't.
2 rings
I
before
don't. I
Peyton
don't,
did.
I don't really keep up with Manning too
Hey,
long.
hey, you know me. I'm the sports guy. Hey, I know my history.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
You know,
know football history better than U.S. history.
I probably know U.S. history better than sports history.
All right, hey, man, just to kind of put a bow on this stuff, man. Because you know that, like, Me Too and Times Up, they kind of go hand in hand. Like, Times Up is this movement basically saying that, okay, men's times is up. Now it's time for women to kind of like lead like the next industry when it comes to producing, movie making, blah 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 blah. But like Times Up, what happened was when Governor Cuomo was going through his Me Too allegation stuff, it was Times Up that was actually advising him. They urged their board members not to even come out publicly about the victims' statements about Governor Cuomo, which was totally hypocritical. So the Times Up CEO, I believe her name is Tina Chin, she had to resign because of that. And also you had Shonda Rhimes and Eva Longoria, they had to step down as board members. So
Yeah,
that's why I say, like, this whole Times Up and Me Too stuff, it is a poisoned well right now.
but look, so they got relieved of their job, and they move on to something else.
I mean,
It's not really no punishment.
no, but as far as all the money that Times Up collected, it was really the board members pocketing most of that money, and only a tiny fraction of those funds went to the defense fund to help women. So it was
I
just a
mean,
big money grab.
look, most of those organizations are like that, man. You know what? They're like Ponzi schemes to get money.
Yeah,
Except you ain't getting your money back. But haha, what happened to all those little Me Too people after Biden Harris election? They ain't get no appointments in the White House. They ain't get jack. But
as a
they
matter of
sure
fact,
a whole lot of money though, didn't they?
yeah, the media never really held Joe Biden's feet to the fire on that. I mean, they didn't even question him about those Me Too allegations.
Look, man, they're not questioning them for nothing. What are they questioning for?
I mean, honestly, when it comes to Me Too times up, they know where their bread is buttered, and they're gonna align themselves with the powerful men who could be the movers and shakers, and they ain't trying to make real enemies, up the food chain. So they know, which ones to accuse, which ones to kind of like brush aside. But when it comes to real power, they're not trying to cross those men. So that's why I say, like, the whole spirit of the Me Too times up for right now, for what it is, it's a poison as well.
It started off as poison.
I won't say it started as a no, no, no. I
Look,
won't say
look,
that. I mean,
hey,
I'm
look.
very critical of the movement, but as far as I'm starting out, their goal was to combat, workplace harassment between bosses and employees. As far as that on face value, I could get with that because as a father of two daughters, if they end up, going to working for someone, I don't want no boss thinking that he's entitled to like hold some type of job over my daughter's heads.
Okay, okay, and they shouldn't. But since they started, have things got better or worse in the workforce?
Um, I would say, you know what?
They've gotten worse,
Well, I've been
especially
working. I've
especially
been,
in the military. Oh my God! Look, the sexual assault and sexual deviancy of
mhm.
people in the military is crazy. You know.
Explain.
All right, so when the "Don't Ask, Don't Tell" repeal got changed, and you can openly be gay.
Now, was that Obama that changed that?
Yeah,
Okay, go ahead.
and he changed it. And at first, they told us, "Oh well, it's just going to be, you can just openly be gay."
Hmm.
Okay, everybody's like, "All right, cool." I mean, there ain't no big deal. So, I mean, they had what they call town hall meetings at different places around the United States, and they had bring, the brass to come talk to you. And we're in this room, and they're all talking about this, and they're like, so how do y'all think about it? And people gave their opinion openly. It's like, well, we don't have a problem, but are y'all going to allow gay marriage in the military? It's like, no, we're not going to do that. Nah, gay people ain't allowed to go. No, we don't. No, we're not even on that level yet.
What year was this
Um,
during these talks?
I would want to say 2008, 2009.
Okay, so Obama just got elected, so maybe
Like,
that was his mandate for a second term, right?
yeah, right, yeah, right.
Okay,
And it was getting closer to his reelection time. So I think it was like maybe like the last year and a half before he's going to get reelected.
okay.
So I mean, I'll never forget. I was just north of Chicago at Great Lakes Naval Base at the Reserve Center there, and
Mhm.
it was probably about 400 people in the room, and they were just asking questions, and I was like, all right, cool. But I'll never forget this one officer. She was a tall blonde officer, and she made a comment that was like no other in the room.
Mhm.
She said, "Excuse me, admirals and generals." She said, "I got a question." She said, "When I look around this room, I know who's Hispanic, I know who's black, I know who's Asian, I know who's white, I know who's blind. He said, but you can't see homosexuality. So she said, so why do people need? She said, I don't go around telling people I'm straight or I'm a heterosexual. She said, I've never seen a straight parade before or a heterosexual parade going down the street. Hey, we like men and women.
That's the most obvious thing, right?
So it's like, why the hoopla? Why? Look, I'm going to say something here, okay? When everybody likes to floss, that's when you get the haters to come out. Whenever you start flossing your shit, that's when the fucking haters come out.
So translation, are you saying the LGBTQ are flossing?
Everybody flosses. I'm not talking about just them. White people floss, right? Barack Obama and Michelle Obama and all them floss during the inauguration of Joe Biden. Did they not floss? They was flossing like a motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
Flossing. And you had haters out there.
Right.
They showed up on January the 6th. But they was flossing. And you know what? There we go, my cousin. Let me tell you what. That's where it starts. We got to stop fucking flossing. That's our problem. We always trying to outdo other race of people or color of people. I'm doing better than you. I got my nice little, like I said, Vice President Harris now, what they've been in office now for almost a year, right?
Yeah.
And where's she been? They looking for her.
Yeah, she been MIA.
Yeah, she been MIA looking up. You know why?
Afghanistan fiasco.
Because every time she got a speech, it's funny at the end. She got that nasty fucking sinister fucking smile on her goddamn face.
She got that force, yeah, that laugh that she does, man. It's so condescending, it's so fake.
It's irritating as fuck. All right.
Yeah.
It's irritating. And she knows it's irritating. That's why she does it. And, it's like, are you really going to make a difference? Or did you just lie and you just got on the ticket because Joe Biden said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black? And she like, yeah, nigga, in the back. In the back. Always in the back. Yep. For real.
Hey, so let me ask you this, cuz. Did you vote for Biden?
I didn't vote for none of them fools.
Then you ain't black then.
I'm not black. I'm a figment of everybody's imagination. I'm not nothing. Look, come on, man. Look,
Drop a bomb on that.
only 14% of this country votes. How y'all think y'all going to change anything? Y'all complaining and don't fucking vote, right?
Now, this is what I hate about the whole voting thing, right? Now, as black people, we overwhelmingly vote for the Democratic Party compared to other minorities of the country, right? But like the mainstream media, specifically Joy-Ann Reid and Representative Maxine Waters, they want to talk down on black men because we're not in total lockstep with black women when it comes to the Democratic Party, right? So like black women maybe vote for the Democrats at a rate of 92%, black men roughly 85%. Just because it's that small of a difference, they want to talk down on black men, but when it comes to like Latinos, it's 50-50.
All right, well, let's get back on Maxine for a minute.
Yeah.
All right, so Maxine wasn't she the representative that wanted us to speak Ebonics back in the day?
If that's her, I remember that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If that was her, if I'm wrong, it was one of them black congresswomen. Are you serious? You want to go back to well, hell, we speaking it now.
As a matter of fact, you go ahead and keep talking. Let me look up Ebonics.
Yeah, I think Maxine Waters was like, oh yeah, these black children need to be able to communicate with each other, in a way where they can learn better. So you mean tell me you want to go back to saying massa and you're going to learn something better?
Now, was this like in the 90s?
Yeah, it was in the late 80s, early 90s. It was
You
talking
know
about Eva.
what? Looking at this, I believe it was looked like it was Maxine Waters.
I believe so. She was like, yeah, these children already can't, they can't communicate with each other, so we need to can create a new language. And it was like, well, it was somebody called it ebonics. She didn't call it ebonics. She called it urban. She referred to as something like urban language. And there's
Yes,
some with
yes,
ebonics.
yes. As a matter of fact, this article came out January 24, 1997, and it has
Okay,
Maxine Waters in it. So yeah, yeah. So
yeah. So you
so
know, I mean, she want to go, but talking about hey, so basically everybody who speaks slang in the hood just don't need to learn anything, and we can just pass them on through. You know, like that's one thing that kills me about our people. They don't want us to get ahead. They trying to keep us behind. They trying to keep us in the mud. You know, look, the Democratic Party, the women in the Democratic Party, look, they talk about women empowerment. They talking about programs for women. They talking about Planned Parenthood, welfare, money for you for housing, food, to take care of your children, not the men, the women.
right,
They
where are the programs that's going to promote men?
they don't. That's look. That's my point. They are
Yeah,
still separating. Look, they're still separating poor families in this country by supporting those programs. They're saying it's okay to get pregnant without a husband. We'll give you some money, and we're so sorry you got raped.
as a matter of fact, this made me lose so much respect for Obama was when he came out with that My Brother's Keeper initiative. When he
Yeah.
came out with that, it was the feminists, specifically, I believe it was Asada's Daughters. It was like some feminist group outside of Chicago. They came
Mm-hmm.
out against the movie because it didn't like it also like address women, in which women got all types of social programs afforded to them, but there's hardly any programs for black boys. But since he folded and pretty much kind of like
There was a program for black boys. It was called the Audi Home in Prison.
yeah,
It
the
was
school
a
prison
program,
pipeline, yeah,
right? It was a look, we had a program too,
yeah,
and luckily some of our fathers taught us to stay away from that damn program.
yeah.
No,
So yeah, yeah,
that's
that
why we in the military didn't hang out, on the south side and get in trouble.
yeah, that lets me know that like when he kind of folded to the pressure from them, that told me that he really wasn't a real leader, because like leaders lead, they really don't care what the whole like social pressure is gonna come from it. They pretty much gonna like dictate what the narrative is gonna be. But he kind of like allowed them to kind of like like trash his program because it didn't address women. I mean, you got to elevate the men, because if the men ain't elevated, then for the future generations, what men are going to be the leaders to like like have wives and have kids and
Hey, look, I
make
told you
the community better.
before. Hey, look, I told you before. This is the feminist view of the world. They want to cut our balls off, put them in sperm banks, and then use us as slaves. They won't need. Look, they don't look. They got all kind of devices to have sexual pleasure. All they need is that sperm cell to produce additional children. Look, I've been watching videos now where you got black and white women up there talking about they need to kill all men on the planet, and they can matter of fact even kill the boys.
Mm.
And this is not anything new.
Yeah, but they
China,
don't realize that, okay, if all men die today, then the infrastructure of the world will be gone. As far as everyone dying, they'll be dead within 2 years, because men run the infrastructure of the planet.
well,
When
but
it
what?
when it comes to
Let's see,
oh, I'm
but
sorry,
women.
go ahead.
You know what? All right, so look, let me throw this out here. This is a fact that I know is true. Okay, in the United States military, 85% of the force are men. 15% are women. So you thinking we got 15, and I'm not saying we should, because we shouldn't, but what if we got rid of all the 15% of women? Do you think the Navy would stop working? If you think if they send all the women in the Marine Corps home tomorrow and say, hey, y'all can't be in the Marine Corps anymore, do you think the Marine Corps would cease to exist?
No.
But if you were to do the opposite and put the 15% of women on ships, and only 5% of anybody in the military is on ships anymore. But if you put all these women on sea duty and you got rid of all the men, what would happen to our country? It would fall.
I mean, some other country that's going to be,
I'm saying that women get look, women. I'm not saying that women don't get their due for serving in this country, but they are not the majority of the species that's doing it. And there's still a lot of things that women can't do that we can do. And they keep on trying to prove that they can do things that they can't do. Like, I'm sorry, there's certain things, like you can't have a penis. I'm sorry, you weren't born with one. I'm sorry. I know you want one so bad. Damn, why do you want one so freaking bad? Like, forget about it. You're not going to have one. If they sew one on you, it's not going to be the same as us.
Yes.
And you're not going to produce semen, and you're not going to get a female pregnant. Sorry, it's not going to happen. Unless you pick that man, you know. And so are they going to do a testicle implant? You still got other hormones that women have that interact with those processes. You know,
I mean, just for a man to produce sperm and to assimilate an egg, doing the act of sex. I mean, like some chemical reactions are like happening to that man in order to produce that sperm for it to shoot out the penis into.
Look, there's a temperature. Look, there's a certain temperature that your body gets to before it can even release sperm.
There's no other way to mimic that. That's what I'm saying.
Right, exactly. Just like you can put some ovaries in a guy and some fallopian tubes. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. But yet they still think it's going to work.
Yeah, because they got trans men. They got pregnant, but still calling them men just because they identify as men, saying that this man has given birth. Like that's a motherfucking woman that gave birth.
Right.
Stop pissing in my face and telling me it's rain.
Right. Or stop saying that the man is having a period when he's not having one, because men don't have menstrual cycles.
Yeah, man. But at the end of the day, you used to get rid of all men, and then once like women establish their roles into like the new status quo, they're gonna develop hierarchies, and then they're gonna go back to this so-called patriarchal system in which there's gonna be like a dominant person, and everybody's gonna be subordinate under them. So they're gonna go through like the whole like new system that kind of mimics this so-called patriarchy.
So what are they going to do with all the nymphomaniacs that actually want men? What are they going to do? They're going to kill them off too.
I don't you know what?
I'm joking here. Look, all I'm saying is, I mean, you got sex addicts that love the opposite sex. I mean, what are you going to do? Like turn them all? What you going to just cut their parts off so that you? I mean, are we going to go to neutering people now? Because that's basically what you're doing when you're changing your sex. You're neutering yourself.
Well,
that's what a neuter is, right?
Right.
I mean, if you cut a dog's balls off, that's a neuter. You can no longer reproduce. I don't know, do they neuter women? Female dogs?
I'm not an animal person, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I'm curious about that too. But I'm saying, I know they neuter, male dogs. They cut their balls off. That's what I'm talking about. Hey. And like that, he's not really any good for anything besides protect.
Hey, so let me ask you this. So we both got vasectomies, right?
Yeah.
So are we neutered?
No. Did they cut off your balls?
No, they didn't.
Then you're not doing it. Look. Cutting off the vas deferens, the tube is not a neuter. Taking your balls from you, because trust me, if you woke up in the morning and you can't grab your balls, you're gonna have a problem with it. I know I'm gonna have a problem. I'm like, damn, what the hell happened to them? Where'd they go? I'm just saying.
You know what? It was just a random question that came about. So yeah, I'm actually gonna feel a lot better now. So I appreciate that, man. Hey, you the Navy doctor, so coming from
What?
you, that felt great. Just to know that.
Yeah.
You know? So all right, man. You got any last parting shots, man? Before we head on out.
All right. So look, it's about time for the men Me Too, the real Me Too of men. Like like us men want to see our children. You know what I mean? Me too. Me want to see my children. Me
Oh,
want to be family life. You know?
you know what? I thought you was go in a different direction with that, as far as like men like accusing women of any like sexual deviances, but honestly though, man, like men really don't trip about that because men take L's when it comes to us not getting certain sexual accesses. I mean, we just take L's, and that's all about being a man. You just kind of like you have some wins, you have some losses, so we just keep it moving. But as far as you're saying, having like a Me Too when it comes to kids, I can understand that.
Yeah, I've had a lot more losses than wins when it comes to that. But we have to form a new um, alliance with young men and start telling them, look, all this glory, all this stuff, it's not worth it. At the
Mhm.
end, you don't want to be standing by yourself and someone's taking all your money and they got your kids and you just you stand outside like in the rain. You know what I mean? And
Well, the best way I can say that could be a possible solution is to stop impregnating these women. I mean, if you're gonna have kids, have it within the confines of marriage.
right,
Other than that, stop having kids with them. Dry them
right,
out.
right,
Don't give them the power for them to take you into family court,
right,
extract all your resources just because you moved on to like a different chick.
right.
But only have kids within the confines of a marriage. That
Yeah.
should clear like a lot of this mess up. So, but hey, I
Look,
mean,
it'll clear most of it up. It's not going. I mean, because all marriages ain't perfect. But
right, right.
like I tell people, after you get married, wait 3 or 4 years before you start having kids. You don't have them just right away. You know that look. My mother and father got married. They met each other 7 days. They didn't talk every day, or they talked, but they didn't. And they got married.
Yeah, but that was a different day, and that was under the Muslim
It
culture.
was. Look, I'm not discounting anything. What I'm saying is this: anybody, it takes years to get to know somebody and whether or not they're going to be loyal to you, whether they have the same values that you have, whether they have the same belief system as you have. Those things, it takes years to be able to trust somebody. Because
Hmm.
anybody can sit there and say, "Oh, well, I'm a Christian. I don't eat pork. I know how to swim." All these different things. Like you can just check the boxes if you want to, but that doesn't. But all those boxes aren't real. Some of them are fake or made
Hmm.
up. So all I'm saying is you got to verify those boxes, those checks. Just because someone tell you they can make pancake, look, I don't want look make some pancakes. And then if they're good, they're good. If they not, if they don't like them, then you won't be making my pancakes no more. But you got to understand. You know what I'm saying? It's like uh, if your woman don't take you out every now and then, really? these days. I mean, you get dinner dates, right?
Yeah, they're starting to happen more often now since the girls are getting a little bit older.
Okay, but I'm saying,
But,
but you get dinner dates, right?
oh
There's a
yeah,
lot of people out here who don't even get dinner dates from their wives or their girlfriends. You know,
we
and
just had
that's
a dinner date this past Sunday.
but that's important. But it's a
Yeah.
lot of people who don't get dinner dates with their wives.
Mm,
They don't take them out or say, hey, you know what? I got this.
mm.
And you know, to be able to go out and say, you know what? Damn, I don't have to reach my wallet tonight. Okay, that's cool. I'm not saying it got to be every time we go out, but every now and then, a lot of women don't understand that men need to feel special too. And because some of them don't do that, they wonder why we don't reciprocate that. Like, you know, it's like I tell people all the time, man, if you got an enemy, if you go home every night to somebody that you don't like and they don't like you and all y'all do is argue, man, get out of that relationship.
Yeah, it's
Get out
not
of that
healthy.
relationship.
Not healthy for either parties. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy. But people are suffering every day in bad relationships that they don't want to be in just because of children, money. You know, I can't afford to live on my own, so I gotta hang on your coattails.
Mm.
Nah, like get your own damn coattails. And then y'all put them together.
Cool, man. Well said. Well said. Shit, man. Yeah, definitely a pleasure for you to come on, man, again. So, I love these conversations, man. I mean, we're like 10 years apart, man. So when I talk to you, it seems like I always learn some different aspects about life. Because you got way more experience than me. So, but yeah, I love these conversations, man. So it's definitely beneficial for me.
I appreciate it, man. You know, eventually one of these days I'll learn how to use my computer.
Oh yeah, it's all good, man. I mean, hopefully next time you come to the city, then I'll kind of show you a few things behind the scenes. So,
That's
but
cool.
yeah, man. Hey, man, it was a pleasure, man, and fun to talk to you in the next few days, man. Have a good weekend, and we'll reconnect next week.
Sure.
All right, man. Peace.
All right, later.
All right.